Hello everybody, my name is Marlowe and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival, specifically episode 50, where today we are going to be doing a world tour, hopefully being able to take a look at everything I've built during my time in this world, which is 1931 Minecraft days. Admittedly, a large chunk of that is probably time spent AFK, but still, I've done a lot, and there's a lot to get through, so we probably should stop delaying it and get started with touring my world. Now, last time I did a world tour, I did it in chronological order, meaning I went round to all of the builds that I did from one episode to the next. Not going to be doing that this time round, instead I'm just going to kind of show you everything in reference to the location of it. Starting off with my survival base. This is one of my favorite builds I've ever done. I'm extremely proud of it, and of course it is the center of all things in this world. It is my survival base, and to be honest, most of it is spent either down here in my storage room or up round here in my bedroom if I need to take a good night's rest. There are some other floors and rooms in this building, but in this video we're not going to be going through all of the houses inside and out, otherwise we are going to be here for a really long time, so I'm not going to spend too long on every single build. Hence why we are going to blitz through all of the builds in this surrounding area, because there's a lot of them, and I've already covered most of them, to be honest, in the previous world tour. So of course my survival base is at the top of the mountain range here, and just beside it we have my villager breeder with a minecart rail that connects it down to a little underground area for a just temporary holding pen for the villagers. Over here to the side we have my nether portal, big and super fancy. And this build right here is my train station that actually has a minecart track going all the way around this portion of my base, and it's a really fun ride. Over here we have my observatory, balloon house, and viewpoint at the top of that mountain peak. And down here is my XP machine, which still doesn't work, even though I thought I fixed it in a few episodes back. Here we have my iron blacksmith with an iron farm connected to it underground, linking up to the storage system. You can just about see the chest right there. And this to the side of it is one of my personal favorites of this surrounding area. It's my super smelter building. Down here we have my bee factory, which also doesn't really work that well anymore. It's too efficient and is kind of just constantly overflowing, so probably gonna do something with that at some point, but not today. Further on up the mountain, if you follow the custom pathway, we come to the moss tower, which, as you may have guessed, has a moss farm underground here. Not the prettiest thing in the world. And then, as you saw at the start of the video, we have this beautiful wooden bridge connecting one side of the mountain to the other over the gap. I really love this thing. Underneath said bridge, we have a water mill, which I believe has a crop farm or something connected to it underground. That's a recurring theme with most of these builds here. They do have some sort of use. Not this one here though. This is my starter house, which provides no function whatsoever anymore. I never come here really, it just serves as some bit of nostalgia, and it's also just a cool and rather funky looking building, and obviously I'm not going to take it down. It's my starter house, you should always leave them up in your world. Even if it's just a tiny little shack, it's still nice to have around. And down here is one of the more recent additions to my mountain biome base over here, and that is the wool factory. And I bet you can't guess what's under this. That's right, it's a wool farm. So that pretty much covers everything built on top of snow, but as you can see down here, we have a whole bunch of stuff on the grass. Featuring some pretty cool buildings, honestly, which I'll get to soon, but there are tons of little things in my world like this that I never show on camera, and why would I? It's boring, it's just a little micro farm, but it's fun little things that you can check out if you want to download this world and look for Easter eggs, I guess we could call them. Now, unfortunately, I'm not doing a public download of this world because I've had way too many issues with it in the past. Instead, I'm going to be doing a download for all of my YouTube members, as I always do with world downloads here on my channel. It's just a nice little thank you to those of you who have supported me throughout the membership system, and as I said, it's just a bit safer that way as far as plagiarism is concerned. So if you are a YouTube member or would like to join the channel and become one, you can go to the Discord server and download this world and check it out for yourself if you would like to. Anyway, let's get back to the tour by showing you my mining operation. This was a really fun project to work on. All of these builds kind of come together to create one big mining operation, as you may have guessed. They all have a certain function, purely aesthetic. None of this actually holds any sort of farms or anything. It's all just for a bit of fun and makes a cool build. So we have loads of buildings here, which all have a separate use for whatever ore is actually mined, which is done down here in the mines. So this is where the miners gather the raw materials and they push them along on carts and bring them over to the lift and take them on up to the surface. And then it's at this point where the ores are separated in this building and then taken off to each separate one depending on what they are. For example, this one right here is the coal building. As you can see, we have a big stack of it outside, as well as a conveyor belt system, and just a bunch of other cool stuff that I've tried to make look as though it's doing something, even though none of it's doing anything at all. Just gotta pause the tour 1 second, I need to sleep. This one over here, I believe, is for gold and possibly diamond. Yes, this is the gem building. Then we have iron, copper, and gold over there too. Okay, I can't really remember what all of this does because some of them are doubling up. I remember this one is also related to diamonds. But when I was making the videos, they all had a use and I explained it and it kind of made sense. But I've forgotten what that sense actually is. So you'll just have to take my word for it. And over here is the living situation in these lovely, glorious, top-of-the-range tents that the miners can sleep in. Oh, and also a big greenhouse, which has my sugarcane farm underground. That isn't really related to the mining operation, I just forgot to mention it. It is worth mentioning that every single build I've done in this world has been done on camera and in an episode, so if you would like a more in-depth look at any of these builds in particular, you can head back through the playlist and pick out whichever episode it is you're looking to check out. I only say that because we are going quite fast through all of these builds, and I know some of you might want to take a more specific look at some of them, especially if you're new around here. There's just a couple more builds to show off in this surrounding area. The first one is through the waterfall here. I actually always forget this exists, but I made a little underground sort of nuclear bunker almost. A very secure apocalypse bunker might be the better term, but yeah. Also, nothing of use in here, is just a fun little build, and I felt like doing it, so that's exactly what I did. Got a big screen with a CCTV at the front. Not currently working though. And the other build in this area, which is another one of my favorites, is if you follow the pathway. Here it is, along here, down the staircase, and you can already see it. It is my villager trading hall, which I do not use enough for the amount of effort that it took me to build. I hardly ever go to this thing, and I really need to change that. It's mainly because I haven't really finished getting all of the villagers that I specifically need, but they're such a pain to get. It's almost not worth it, but I spent this long on a build this large. I should probably just do the final touches. But yep, here are all of my librarians and cartographers. This is generally how I got my emerald supply. You can, I think, sell glass panes to these guys by trading glass with these guys, and it's basically infinite emeralds. It's great. And then when I got all of my emeralds, I could go up to the top level up here and actually trade the stuff that I wanted to buy. As I said, it's not quite done. I need to do a couple more things still, but I just keep putting it off time and time again. But even if I end up not doing anything with it and it just stays there as a cool looking building, I am totally fine with that because it is a cool looking building. And a massive one at that. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers my entire survival base. I know that building behind me is kind of the main feature point, but all of these builds have their uses, and I like to consider this kind of mountain range and surrounding area my base, and I think we've covered everything. So that means we are now ready to head to the Nether and go and check out some of my other builds. First things first, my actual Nether hub. This building right here. It is the center point to everything else in my world, and it's how I get around. As you can see with these lecterns, there are all of the waypoints that I need to get to. It goes off in two directions, then kind of splits off in a bunch of paths. There are a lot of these, and if you are downloading the world, I'd advise this is how you should probably get around. I don't know the coordinates of everything off the top of my head, so I just follow these paths to wherever I want to go to. As I said, you can read the lecterns to find out where everything is. So let's go along one by one, shall we? Starting with my Mesa village. Something I like about these nether portals is they kind of just plop you right in the center or just to the side of the build, and it's kind of hidden away. As you'll see with my Mesa village, you're behind a painting. A little bit disorientating if you don't know where you're going, so it's partially why I'm showing you. But you're actually inside one of the houses, and then you can take a fly on outside and get a wonderful view of the multicolored Mesa village. This, like a lot of the builds in various places throughout my world, don't have any sort of function. They're just a cool little one-off project that I did for a video because I wanted to. And I'm really happy with this one. It's such a cute and unique looking build, and I think it came out spectacularly. Spectacularly, maybe a bit too much. Sounds like a blow on my own trumpet, but no, I just really like this build. It's cute. And the best part about this village, finished interiors. Yep, that's right, I was skimping on nothing. What have we got over here? End portal. I think there's something to look at through here, not just the end. Through one portal, and through two portals. Uh-oh, I looked at him. Let's make this quick. So this is my Enderman farm. It's nothing special, it's the classic design that everybody tends to use at the moment, but it is a part of this world, and I wanted to show you guys. That's it. Okay, let's go back before we annoy anyone else. Hopefully he doesn't follow me through. We are safe. However, it has spawned me here at spawn, which is actually fine. I'll show you guys this one next. So this is my spawn monument, one of the newer features of this world. We made this just a few episodes ago, I think, and I know I keep saying it, but it is one of my favorite builds I've ever done. It is so massive, and it's got some really cool shapes to it, and I'm just really proud of how this thing came out in general, as well as the surrounding landscape. I think definitely completes it. That does remind me, actually, when I built this thing, I asked if you guys would be okay with me changing the world spawn, so it would put me on the sea lantern, and basically no one said no, everyone said go for it, so I'm gonna do that. Set world spawn. There we go. I'll just spawn back here now. Heading out into the ocean, across from the spawn monument, we do have my guardian farm, which desperately is in need of some sort of aesthetical upgrade. Now we have this glorious build out on the shoreline. This thing is a big eyesore, so I need to do something with it. Therefore, if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. At the moment, I'm thinking of rebuilding my own guardian monument kind of above the surface. That's just the idea I'm working with at the moment, but let me know what you guys think. Out this way is a mob farm. It's quite a long walk, and honestly, all there is literally the mob farm, which looks like this, so nothing that special. I'm not going to be making the trip. Unfortunately, this one is even longer, out to the Mangrove Swamp, but there are some cooler things to look at out here, so yes, I will not walk, but fly along here. Oh, I've done Subspace Bubble. That is cool. How have I never done that before? I'm guessing my advancements must have reset or something. So welcome to the Mangrove Swamp, where I have yet another teeny tiny village that is just so happened to be frog infested. There are a lot of these guys around. I know they spawn here naturally, but I believe I was breeding them up for some reason, and I just kind of let them free, so it's very ribbity, crickety, and croakery around here. And a bit laggy too. There's a lot of leaves, isn't there? So of course this was built right when the Mangrove Swamp was released back in 1.19, and I just had to do something with the mangrove wood and the mud bricks. Love these two blocks, so I decided to build a cute and cozy Mangrove Swamp riverside village. And the best way to view it is via boat, but unfortunately there's a frog in my boat. So I'm just going to have to kind of swim down here, but you can go under all of the bridges and kind of just take a look at all of the weird and wonky, wacky houses. They're all kind of looking as though they're falling apart, which is intended. But yeah, this was once again another fun little project. And then if we go out this way some direction, we do eventually get to my witch farm, which is built inside of a giant frog, because why not? Okay, we are back in the nether, and the next thing we can look at is just here on the left. This is my hoglin farm. Yep, that's it. Here's a farm that's a bit more grand, my gold farm. You can't see it yet, but up there is a giant build. Unfortunately, not my design. I am not technical enough to build a gold farm. It should be coming into render distance now. It might honestly be too high up. This is where the path ends. I'm guessing it's above me. Yep, there it is. This massive magma-filled platform is my gold farm. It's super efficient. It's how I have nearly 580 levels. And yeah, it's kind of crazy good and super fun to use. However, very loud, so we are gonna get out of here. I believe the Blaze Farm is the last build that I need to show you in the Nether. It's more than just a farm this time. It does actually look kind of cool. So we fall down these vines, hopefully catching it right at the end, and these are not blazes, they are blaze heads from all of the blazes I have killed here, and we land on my modified Nether Fortress pathway. You guys may notice that this is too wide. Nether Fortresses are usually 3 wide. I had to make it even with the farm, so I like redid this whole thing just to make it symmetrical with this farm, which is the Blaze Farm. It's a cool looking build. It's nothing too special. They just spawn in the spawner and fall down into this little trap here, but it is something a bit more interesting than just having an ugly cube in the middle of the Nether. I do like making nice functional builds look pretty. So that is all of the builds on this side of the Nether Hub. Let's head back to the center and go around to the other side. Down this vine, by the way, is just how I get to the actual Nether itself if I ever need to do that. We got a cool tower here. It's nothing special, but I guess it's a build that I did, so I'm gonna show you. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Let's go back up. That could have been bad. Fun fact, I've only died twice in this world, and I can't remember what either of them were, so let me know if you guys do, because I'm drawing a blank right now. I've also potted 70 plants. That seems interesting to me. Do you guys also love reading your statistics? There's something about it. I love the numbers. It's really cool. Maybe I'll go through it with you guys one day. The next Nether portal has led me to a custom volcanic island. And yes, I mean custom island. This thing has been built from scratch. There wasn't an island here already before. I didn't transform anything. All of the blocks you see all the way down to the seabed here have been hand placed. It was a big project and maybe not worth it, although you can see through the water quite easily, so I would argue it is actually really worth it. Just for the small little island, I had to build like one 4 times the size underwater. But yes, this is my volcanic island, of course with a volcano in the center, as well as some turtles on the shore, just off the coast of yet another custom village, this time a pirate-themed jungle village. And this one had a bit of a story. It basically went along the lines of the pirates had a shipwreck, hitting this ship into the rocks, and they set up camp on the shore here and slowly expanded out into the, what is this biome? The sparse jungle, and built some huts and kind of make themselves a bit more well situated whilst they built up the big pirate ship over here, and they were finally ready to set sail, hence why there are no pirate villages over here. It's definitely not because I was lazy and didn't want to get any villagers. Also, don't question why the pirate ship is still here if the pirates aren't. Okay, it was because I was lazy. But yeah, this was a fun project. I enjoyed doing this one. Onwards to the next portal. And it takes me to my most colourful build yet, or at least the brightest. Most colourful might go to the Mesa village. That one has more colours, but this one definitely is more strenuous on the eyes. This is my flower farm cottage, and boy do I love the look of all of these flowers combined into their separate fields, all leading up to this cozy, overgrown cottage at the end of the walkway. So technically, this build is actually here for a reason. It was meant to be a flower farm. I did build one underground, which I know I wasn't really meant to be showing you all of this, but I'm going to show you this one anyway because it comes with a funny story. So we go down here and come to my flower farm. And as you can see, it's pretty big, right? I spent a long time doing this, not to mention everything up on the surface. Only to find out that the farm produces like 3 types of flowers out of a total however many flowers spawn in a flower forest, like most of them. So long story short, I did all of this for nothing. Or I did it all for a bunch of seeds and a couple of tulips. But it wasn't for nothing because we ended up with this lovely build on the surface. It's just very far away from home, and if the farm doesn't work, it doesn't really need to be this far. But oh well, it's nice to come out here and visit it from time to time. Okay, we're coming to the end of the tour now. I believe there are only 2 more places left to show you. First up is my Christmas area. Now currently my Christmas area only revolves around one thing, and it's not a bunch of spiders, it's actually my giant snow globe behind me here, but I plan to, each Christmas that comes along on my channel, so long as we're in this world, just to add 1 or 2 more things in this general vicinity, and it can actually be a Christmas area. But for right now, it's just a Christmas snow globe. So the final build that I want to show you guys isn't actually connected up to the Nether hub just yet. That's something I'm going to do once I finish recording, because otherwise you guys with the world download can't really get to it. But it's the build we actually did in the previous episode. This is my multi-biome custom roller coaster island. I'm not going to go over this too in depth. I'm just going to kind of ride the rail along so you guys can get a look at the POV on ride. I did make a YouTube short about this entire thing, so if you don't want to watch the entire episode, there's the other minecart. Let's just get back to the same point we were at. As I was saying, if you don't want to watch the entire episode, you can just watch a short, and it basically covers everything you need to know, with the exception of the on-ride POV. But this is definitely one of my favorite building projects of the world. I've been wanting to do something like this for a really, really long time, and eventually last episode I just decided I was going to do it. And honestly, it's been the most fun I've had doing an episode in a very long time. I really enjoyed myself, and so many of you guys liked the episode too. Reading the comments on that one was really, really heartwarming, so thank you to everybody who left a comment. Now, I don't think we're going to get to the end of the ride here, because it is time to end off the episode here, and I cannot keep rambling until we make it. There's still a while to go, so if you do want to watch the whole on-ride POV of this roller coaster, you will probably have to go back to the other episode. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching this episode, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed watching the world tour, seeing everything we've done in the 50 episodes we've been here, building stuff and creating things and having fun. It has been a blast, and as always, I cannot thank you guys enough for the continued support. It is massively, massively appreciated. I'm trying to get to the end of the top of this bit so we can at least get the drop involved. Some people were asking last episode to see that POV first person, so here you go. Anyone asking, this is what you're missing out on. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching this episode. Thank you for the continued support. YouTube members or anyone new that's considering joining the channel, you know where to get the world download. Just head to the Discord server and go to the downloads channel, and I should have it there for all of you to come in and check out this world, and you can ride the roller coaster and do other things on your own. But thank you everybody so much for watching. Somehow I've managed to ramble enough to make it to the end of the ride here, which is just about perfect. So I will see you guys in the next episode, where we'll be starting something brand new in episode 51. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.